Hello friends, time for another update. I know I'm long overdue. We've got a lot of things happen in the last couple of months. Things have taken a turn, and so I just wanted to share what's happened and where we're at and where we're going. So I finished my last oral chemotherapy, Xeloda, back in July. I had a clean PET scan in August, so that was exciting. No evidence of anything. I had another follow-up appointment with my doctor and blood work in November, and that too looked good. Tumor markers were normal, blood work looked good. But over the couple of months, I had started having some pain in the back of my shoulder blade. Nobody really thought a lot about it because it was in my shoulder blade, and you sit at the computer all day, and so nobody really knew what was going on. Maybe some stretching, some strength training, some physical therapy, take a Tylenol when I need to, that kind of thing. And so it continued, and in December I added a new pain in my back, low back, sort of where the kidneys are. And because I had had a pretty good kidney infection in July, I assumed that that was what it was. So I went to urgent care, but all of my tests were normal and there was no sign of infection. A couple of weeks later, I added another pain at the bottom of my ribs, and mostly when I breathed deep, I could feel those two pains. So finally it got bad enough, and I didn't know who to call or which doctor to talk to. I'd been to an orthopedic about my shoulder, nothing, just nobody really quite knew what to do with me. So I said, forget it, this hurts too much, I'm taking too many pills to get through the day. And so we went to the emergency room. They thought maybe it was my gallbladder. So they did an ultrasound and found my gallbladder to be just fine. So they did a CT scan, and lo and behold, I had fluid building up in the pleural space on the right lung. So your lungs are surrounded by a pouch, and that pouch, that sac, is connected on the outside to your chest wall and on the inside to your lung. And so in that pouch is where my body had started collecting fluid. And there were some masses of some kind there too. They couldn't tell exactly, but mostly the fluid was the biggest issue because it had filled up about half to 3/4 of my lung. It pushed my lung up. So I was only breathing on the right side with like half a lung. And all that fluid was taking up space, which is why it hurt so much when I breathed. And the pain in my shoulder was actually a referred pain. So the ER doctor told me anytime you have something going on in the diaphragm area, the nervous system, the way the nerves are connected, it can refer up into your shoulder blade area, and you can feel the pain there instead of down in the diaphragm area. So it was a referred pain. There was nothing wrong with my shoulder blade, but it was from pain further down under my lung. So they admitted me to the hospital. That was a Friday, unfortunately. And I hung out for the weekend until they could find a radiologist to do a thoracentesis on Monday. So thoracentesis is when they put a catheter in your back between your ribs into that pleural space, into that sac around your lung, and they drain the fluid. And so I drained 1.6 liters of fluid off of that right lung. And it was red and cloudy, which is not good news. They test the fluid, and sure enough, it came back malignant, positive for cancer cells. So my cancer has returned, and because it's returned to a new place, it is now metastatic, which means stage 4. So cancer is named from where the cancer originates. So because my cancer originated in the breast, it's still breast cancer, but it has metastasized to that pleural space on my lung. So that was fun. About a week later, I followed up with my oncologist to see how I was doing, and he was hearing diminished breath on that side again, only a week later. So because of that, we decided to put in a catheter that I would keep in me forever, so we could continue to drain at home if we needed to, instead of trying to find appointments to get drained. So the referrals to radiologists in order to get that procedure done were taking quite a while. I had already refilled up again, and another week I would have been miserable. So we decided again to go to the emergency room. So they admitted me again, and I spent the weekend after getting a catheter installed in my right side. So I have a tube here in my side that goes into that pleural space. And a home health nurse comes and drains it every few days, and will eventually, teach Dave to do it so we can do it ourselves as needed. So after I had that installed on that Friday, we drained again. We gained 2.3 liters that day when they installed the catheter. So I had quite a bit of fluid, making it very difficult to breathe. The next day, we drained 230 milliliters, and the next day 60 milliliters. So we were going down in volume, which was good. And then once I got home and the home health nurse started draining, I've only drained maybe 10, and then last time there was really nothing. So I'm hoping that that is starting to resolve itself and I won't need the catheter much longer. In the meantime, yesterday I had a PET scan so that we can take a look and get a good baseline as to where we are now and see if any other spots light up other than that pleural space that we know about. So just give us a good idea of where things are actively growing. And today I started on chemotherapy again. Yay. So I had a port put back in last week. So this one was, my first one was removed in August when I had my exchange surgery. So I had expanders placed, and then when I was finished with treatment, I got those expanders removed and actual implants put in. And when they did that, they removed my port. So now that we have new cancer cells, that means more treatment, and treatment that will last who knows how long. So we put in a new port there. And this morning I got to test it out. I got my first dose of Taxol chemotherapy. So I'm just doing Taxol. I did fairly well on Taxol last time, and I also had it with carboplatin and Keytruda. So to just do the Taxol, I'm hoping won't be too bad. So I will get weekly infusions of Taxol for the foreseeable future. So that was one of the things I came home today, and when I first started chemo the first time, it was like, oh, 1 down, 15 to go, right? And I could count down till the end. The difference with stage 4 is there's not really an end. It's just sort of treat until you can't, or treat until it's not working anymore and then we do something different, or treat until it's stable and then you take a break, or that, but there's never really an end. Stage 4 is considered incurable, not untreatable, which is a difference, and I think a lot of people get that confused. Incurable doesn't mean untreatable, and so I can be treated and be fine and live till I'm 80, 90, 100 years old is possible. You just don't know. So you treat and get your whatever treatment they seem to be is best for your particular cancers. And then we will do scans every few months to see if things are changing or stable or whatever, and then make decision to continue or stop or change. So that's really kind of what the foreseeable future is just treatment, monitor, shift as needed. So I'm hopeful that the treatment will decrease some of the pains that I have. I've been managing pain with lots of painkillers, which have other side effects, which are not fun. So we've been managing that, and so I'm hopeful that my chemo treatments now will help diminish some of those other pains, and I won't have to take quite so many pain pills, which will be easier on my body overall. So tired, fatigue, of course, pains as my meds run out. I have this catheter kind of in the way. My port is new, so it's a little bit sore just because it's new, but that will be fine eventually. I do get out of breath, as you can tell. Talking even for extended periods is tricky. Walking to the mailbox gets my heart pumping, so I have to do small things in short bursts and then rest. So I do when I can, and I rest when I have to, and that's just going to be the way it is for a while. So that's what we're at. So MBC, metastatic breast cancer, stage 4, triple negative, still triple negative. It's the same cancer, it's just moved. That's the difference. Yeah, so chemotherapy, 1 down. Who knows how many to go. But we'll just do what we do, and I've been through it before. I can get through it again. And life goes on. And you just, like I said, I do when you can do, and I rest when I can rest. And that's going to be life for the foreseeable future. I had a lot of people ask how they can help, how they can support. We've gotten so many messages and visitors and cards and gifts and donations, and which are really, really very helpful. I'm actually, my insurance is questionable at the moment, so I'm expecting very large medical bills here soon. In addition, Dave's been taking care of me, especially in and out of the hospital, so he hasn't been able to work, and he's delivery driving for Spark for Walmart, so if he doesn't drive, he doesn't get paid. So we've had very little income this month, which is going to be tricky moving forward. So everything helps, and we really appreciate it. So I've been asked how people can help. I hate to ask for help. I'm not a person that normally does, but sometimes when the situations call for it, I'm finding a lot of different foundations and charities that you can apply for assistance. So I'm doing all of those. But I will, somebody asked for an Amazon wish list for things that could help. So I'll put that in the description if you feel called to do something. Yeah, so that's it for now. I guess I'll be back with more videos now that we are in active treatment, going through things and going through it again. I'll keep everybody up to date. So I'm back. I hope y'all have a great week and are looking forward to a wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you again soon. Bye for now.